Hi guys, this is Sarah and I'm here to answer one of the questions that I get asked sometime and another on where do you get ideas to make Mystic Star, where do you get inspirations from that and so on. Now it's really cool to get these questions. I get them sometime here and there, so it's normal. And I get to ask these questions myself to others. You see, there's no comic book market in Egypt, so my experience depends on what people say to me and what they tell me in the comments and so on. Anyways, so how do you start writing a story? Well, it starts back when you're a teen, when you start to be interested in drawing. You see, when we're teens, we get interested in different stuff. Someone say I like singing, someone others say I want to take photos, some others say I want to be a musician, and there are us who wants to draw and write stories. And there are people who said no, I want to draw, and other ones say I write stories, so why not work together? There are also people like that. Not everyone can do both. Anyways, when I was young I was the same thing. I played the piano, I performed on stage, I did all things you can imagine, but what stuck with me was drawing. And when I was about 12, 13, I started to understand more about anime. I knew there was Disney. I loved Disney. I know there was these looking things or animation things which I used to think it was American, because there was Spider-Man, and well, they did cool stuff like Spider-Man. So yeah, whatever. Anyways, when you're 13, 14 years old, you still don't have that amount of information or amount of knowledge or experience, to be precise, to create your own story. You see things that are popular: Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, all these kind of stuff. And you'll see, it looks interesting, so I'm gonna take a look on the most popular things, and you get attracted to it, and then you'll start drawing fan-based stuff, or maybe write fan-based stuff out of these things, which is completely normal. It is how I started. I used to draw fan-based things out based off of Yu-Gi-Oh, which happens to be, it happens to have an fantasy element to it, with the pharaoh and the whole millennium thing and the card game thing. It was interesting, and it was my favorite back in the day, alongside with Hunter x Hunter, so I ended up making a fan story based off Hunter x Hunter and Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, you can imagine how that might look like. Anyways, it's fine in the beginning to start doing this way you're gonna get experience, if you can, or you see yourself if you can write, because a lot of people might think that they can write a story or draw it. Doing that back in the day helped me to understand that I can do a story. I might be lazy on it, which I am, but I know I can do something. And I might be not the best, I might lack experience, but I still can do something. So this is how it starts. It doesn't matter if you do 1, 2, 3, or how many stories you do. It's a way of getting experience. Same goes with characters. I drew my favorites. Back then it was Yu-Gi-Oh. Then it was Tetsuya Nomura stuff. Now it's Persona things. So I used to draw these stuff, learn new type of drawing art styles, kept practicing until I got better in proportions, even though that my art style was a little bit weird. I did try out so many different art styles because I like so many animations, but it didn't feel right to me. I tried Winx. I tried my older art style, which was more Yugi-ish. I tried so many things, but it didn't work out, I kept working until I discovered a certain style when I was about 17 years old. It was a style I like. I even tried at one point to do the realistic art style of Tetsuya Nomura, which was a disaster for me, because it wasn't me. So it's normal to try different stuff. Even if it was like, I like this guy a lot, so I'm gonna try to do his work. It's fine. It's a way of getting experience. So what do you do after you get experience and discover your own art style? You take the next step. You see what the genre you like most. How do you know what genre you like most? What are the series you like most? For me, I like fantasy more. I like things like fairy tale. Yes, it's action, but it's fantasy. It has like its own world and its own worlds and so on. I like Final Fantasy. I like Persona. I like Witch. I like Wings. I like Charmed. I like Angel, not the Buffy, the Angel. You know, Angel, the good old Angel. I like these stuff. So you see where I'm going here, right? It is the thing that I like. And later on you'll discover that whatever you like the most are the thing that you're going to write in, because it's the thing that most interests you. Same goes for drawing style. You'll find yourself attracted to a certain art style that I won't say you'll do a copy based thing out of another person's work, but it will have the same feeling, you know? For me, I like things or characters that are able to express emotions with their whole body, with the face, the experience of the face, and so on. And that works for characters like Final Fantasy for me. Sometimes Persona. The characters of Persona 3 looks like their personality fits so much their design. And so on like that. I like Witch because the characters are able to express all the whatever they're expressing with their whole body, which is something that I like a lot. And so that is something that I would apply in my drawing. Now, of course, you're going to take some time to develop your own art style, your original one. You see, until not too long ago, my art style, yes, I knew it, but there was things like it looks stiff and it needs improvements and so on. And I looked upon anime designs. I took notes of eye shapes and hairstyles and so on like that. All this stuff will help you to get experience. It will help you to grow yourself and to reach to, alright, this is my style, this is what I want to do. Now I already know my art style, I already know what kind of genre that I like. But I still don't know how my story is going. Which brings me to another question that I've got. What, in your opinion, makes a story good? Well, in my opinion, what makes a story good if it's not a copy-based thing out of other people. Now, when you're gonna say, hey, you said in the beginning, yes, but what after you get your art style defined and your story or the genre that you like defined? What then? So it's because of the ninja thing being popular, I'm gonna do me a ninja story, but in a fantasy world? Huh? It's not gonna work. You know, what makes a story good in my opinion, even if it was similar to something else, because all the shonen stuff you see in the market are similar to Dragon Ball. All of them has male protagonists who goes into some sort of training and have some incredible superpower, and they fight evil. You know, it's all the same, but the way that the story is told is different. It's different from Bleach to Naruto to Fairy Tail to One Piece to so on. So how the way of the story is told, okay? One story is told in a ninja world, another story is told in a fantasy world, another story is told in the pirates world. So the way that the story is told, and most importantly, to have an ending in mind. The story, any story, no matter how long it is, it will not last forever. You need to imagine some sort of an ending to your story. So you have a start, an ending, in the middle. You will test out different stuff. Now, I don't know what's in the middle of my story. I do have a certain beginning and a certain end in my head, even if it's going to change. But there are something here, and what I'm doing right now is in the middle. I'm lazy, I will admit that, but that's what makes a good story in my opinion. Another thing, if the story was not too long, I'm not a fan of things that goes on for years and years. It gets boring, and you know, people will get bored, people will start looking for something new. So it's okay to end your story at one point and start something new. In fact, fans love new things. They will cheer you to go on. how do I decide how the character should look like, and where do I get inspirations from? As I said, I get my inspirations from drawing, and especially the characters, and not just the characters, the world, from so many things. In the world, I get inspirations practically from Turkey, which I love its designs, and from Egypt, places like Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada. They had so many beautiful designs. It feels like from a fantasy world, so that's where I get my inspirations from backgrounds. Also from Disney stuff like The Little Mermaid or Aladdin, and things like that tells a story in a different place. I love that. I love fairy tales background. So amazing. It has so many details. I also try to make up my own stuff. But for characters, as I said, I like things that is able, or characters that express their emotions and their designs. I look for in different things, not just anime. I could look upon drama, I could look upon series, I could look upon different things. For example, the headmaster of the School of Magic is called Professor Merlin, and he is inspired from a character in a Disney movie, the Great Wizard Merlin. And I'm serious, I've got my inspiration from that movie. I can't just remember its name right now. So I get inspirations from everything around me. I used to say like a certain anime, but then I opened my eyes to a lot of the surroundings, and I found there's so many things I can get inspired from. You know, even window shopping could inspire me to do a certain clothes design for characters. You see, I'm a person who don't want to give my characters a permanent look like a lot of animes. I want to give them like a changing look here and there. So even just window shopping inspires me to think of different outfits for the characters. That's why my characters don't have the all so cool unique thing, even though I do have some so cool unique designs that they can go on with, and that doesn't change through the series, but that's not what I want, you know? So just keep your eyes open to everything around you. Inspirations come from the smallest thing, you know? Anime, when it started in Astro Boy was inspired by Disney. So the great start of anime, the creator of Astro Boy was inspired by Disney, by Alice in Wonderland and Snow White and so on like that. So inspiration can come in any direction, and because you're inspired from a lot of things, you'll end up doing something. Someone other may have a similar thing to it, but it's not the same. The way that the story is told is different, you know? So keep that in mind. Even in the ancient civilizations, there was things that are similar to each other. Ancient Egypt had a god of death called Anubis. In Japan, it's the Shinigami. So there you have it. Even in old times, things happen to be similar, but just, I guess, the way they are presented are different. So in the end, what makes a story unique is the way you tell it. You know, you'll get a lot of criticizing in the start. I got that. Thanks to that, I was able to overcome a lot of the mistakes that I've got in the past. I still have a long way to go though, but I am better. I'm not the best, I am better from my older me. So that's what the most important thing. Better in storytelling, better in character designing, better in so many things. My older work. Some people say, oh, you got inspirations from a certain anime or a certain game. I told them, yes, correct. But then I would stop and redo it again if I feel like it's not the thing that I want. It's cool. So there's no definite law to say what should make a good story and how it is told and so on like that. Most importantly, it's your own thing. You should be able to imagine a start and an end. And you do whatever you like in the middle. It's up to you. So I hope this is helpful to you guys. The video is a little long, but it's just so much to put in one video. Anyways, you guys, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask, put them in the comments, and I'll make another video if these questions needs long explanations like the couple of questions I've gotten my previous video. So that's it, leader. Stay safe and take care.